Tech Cocktail Conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
The Art of Nonconformity was my first book, and that's a collection of stories of people living unconventional lives. So all different backgrounds, people who have started traveling, people who have started businesses, people who have checked out of something and checked into something else. One of the stories I like from that book is a guy named Alan Bacon. And Alan was a self-described, middle-aged, regular guy. He didn't feel like he could just, abandon everything and move overseas, like some people do. But he wanted to make some change in his life. He found himself kind of discontented. And so he began what he called this series of life experiments. And the life experiments were very small things in the beginning, like going to the art museum during his lunch break, or taking a photography class, And then he started traveling a little bit. He got this overseas work assignment. He took his family with him. They went to Paris. He came back. He eventually started consulting and became totally self-employed. But he traces the whole thing to the idea of the life experiments, to just kind of like playing with the idea of change and being open to new things. What I like to do is actually pick 3 things that I want to do or I hope to achieve, during the weekend or the week or however long you're here. And there's always so much happening. It's easy to just kind of get lost and, lost in the moment. So I always just pick 3 things. So in my case, I'm hosting a party tonight. I want to really focus on that. A lot of my readers come out. I want to do a good job at that. The other thing is I'm talking about my book on Monday, so I want to do a good job with that. There's a couple of people I want to specifically meet. So I pick 2 or 3 things, but then for the rest of the time, I just come and do fun stuff. On every corner, there's fun stuff. There's a party everywhere. There's a meetup everywhere. And so I think some of the magic happens when you just meet people and you have 2 or 3 things, in mind that you want to achieve as well. I began by working in West Africa. I spent about 4 years there, and after that is when I started doing more travel. And what I learned is, most entrepreneurs around the world, they don't set out to become entrepreneurs. They don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to be an entrepreneur. They may not even use that word. They just think in terms of, providing for their families. They think about like making a way for themselves. And it's like, it's not so much about getting a job or even starting a company or whatever. It's about, how can I buy something and sell it? How can I, work the barter system? What skill do I have that other people value? What skill do I have that other people value enough to exchange money for? So there are entrepreneurs all over the world, but most of them don't think of themselves as such.